The story of the wedding at Cana is a powerful testament to God's grace. It's a story of joy, celebration, and divine intervention. Imagine the scene, a bustling wedding feast filled with laughter and music. Suddenly, a problem arises, the wine runs out. In those times, running out of wine at a wedding was a social disaster. It could bring shame upon the hosting family. It was a moment of potential embarrassment and disappointment. This seemingly ordinary event becomes the backdrop for an extraordinary miracle. John chapter 2 verses 3 to 4 tells us, "When the wine ran out, the mother of Jesus said to him, 'They have no wine.' 'Woman, what does this have to do with me?' Jesus replied, 'My hour has not yet come.'" These verses set the stage for a pivotal moment in Jesus' ministry. It's a moment that reveals the depth of Mary's faith and the power of her intercession. This simple exchange between mother and son holds a profound spiritual significance. It speaks to the importance of bringing our needs to Jesus, even the seemingly small ones. This seemingly small problem becomes an opportunity for Jesus to reveal his glory. It shows us that God cares about every detail of our lives. He cares about our celebrations and our struggles. He is present in both the big moments and the small. This miracle is not just about turning water into wine. It's about transforming situations. It is about demonstrating God's abundant provision and his desire to bless us. This story resonates with us because we all face moments of need. We all experience times when we feel like something is lacking. The wedding at Cana reminds us that we can bring our needs to Jesus. We can trust that he hears us and cares about our situations. Even when things seem impossible, God can turn our lack into abundance. He can turn our moments of despair into occasions for joy. Mary's response to the wine shortage reveals her unwavering faith in Jesus. She didn't panic or despair. She simply brought the problem to her son, trusting that he could do something about it. Her words, "They have no wine," are not just a statement of fact, they are an expression of her faith. She knew that Jesus had the power to intervene. She believed that he cared about the situation. She approached Jesus not with a demand, but with a quiet confidence. Mary's faith was not blind. It was rooted in her understanding of who Jesus was. She had witnessed his extraordinary wisdom and compassion. She had observed the signs and wonders that hinted at his divine nature. She knew that he was more than just her son, he was the Son of God. This deep understanding of Jesus' identity fueled her faith and empowered her to approach him with boldness and humility. She demonstrated a quiet strength that comes from knowing and trusting in God's power. Even though Jesus initially responded, "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come," Mary didn't waver in her faith. She simply instructed the servants to do whatever Jesus told them. This act of obedience reveals her complete trust in Jesus. She didn't try to control the situation or offer her own solutions. She simply surrendered the problem to Jesus and trusted that he would handle it in his own way and in his own time. Mary's faith serves as an inspiration for us today. It reminds us that even in the midst of challenging situations, we can choose to trust in God. We can bring our needs to him, knowing that he cares and has the power to intervene. Mary's example encourages us to approach God with humility and boldness, confident in his love and provision. We can learn to let go of our worries and anxieties, trusting that he is working behind the scenes for our good. Mary's intercession at Cana is a powerful example of the impact of praying for others. Her simple act of bringing the need to Jesus' attention paved the way for a miracle to occur. It highlights the importance of lifting up the needs of those around us. It demonstrates the power of intercessory prayer to bring about positive change in the lives of others. It reminds us that we are called to be vessels of God's love and grace in the world. Jesus' initial response, "My hour has not yet come," reveals an important truth about God's timing. Sometimes God's answer to our prayers is not immediate. He may have a different timetable in mind. He may be working behind the scenes to orchestrate events in a way that we cannot yet see. His delays are not denials. They are often divine appointments. Waiting on God's timing can be challenging, but it is in those moments of waiting that our faith is strengthened. Despite Jesus' initial hesitation, he ultimately performs the miracle, turning water into wine. This demonstrates that God honors the prayers of those who come to him in faith. He may not always answer in the way we expect or in the time frame we desire, but he is always faithful to his promises. He is always working for our good, even when we can't see it. The miracle at Cana reminds us that God's power is limitless and that he is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think. Mary's intercession and Jesus' response teach us the importance of trusting in God's timing. We can learn to surrender our anxieties and worries to him, knowing that he is in control. We can rest in the assurance that he has a perfect plan for our lives and that he will work all things together for our good. Even when we don't understand his ways, we can choose to trust in his wisdom and love. Section 4. Lessons from Cana interceding for others today. The miracle at Cana holds valuable lessons for believers today. It reminds us that we can bring our needs and the needs of others to Jesus. We can intercede for our families, friends, and communities, trusting that God hears our prayers. Just as Mary brought the need for wine to Jesus' attention, we can bring our concerns to him, knowing that he cares. We can pray for healing, provision, guidance, and wisdom, believing that God can intervene in powerful ways. Intercessory prayer is not just about asking God for things, it's about aligning our hearts with his will. It's about seeking his kingdom and his righteousness above all else. When we pray for others, we open ourselves to be channels of God's grace and love. We become instruments of his peace and healing in the world. We participate in his work of redemption and restoration. Mary's example encourages us to be attentive to the needs of those around us. Just as she noticed the lack of wine at the wedding, we can be sensitive to the struggles and challenges faced by others. We can offer a listening ear, a helping hand, and a prayerful heart. We can be a source of encouragement and support, pointing others to the hope and healing that is found in Jesus. The lesson of intercessory faith is not just for special occasions or miraculous interventions, it's a principle for everyday life. We can incorporate prayer into our daily routines, lifting up the needs of others throughout the day. We can pray for our colleagues, our neighbors, and even those we don't know personally. We can make intercession a way of life, constantly seeking God's will and his blessing for those around us. Section 5. The ripple effect of faith, transforming lives through prayer. The miracle at Cana demonstrates the ripple effect of faith. Mary's simple act of intercession led to a miraculous transformation, not just of the water into wine, but also of the atmosphere of the wedding celebration. Her faith brought joy and relief to the wedding party. It demonstrated God's abundant provision and his desire to bless his people. It set the stage for Jesus' public ministry, revealing his glory and power to the world. When we pray for others, we initiate a ripple effect of faith that can transform lives. Our prayers can bring healing, comfort, and strength to those who are hurting. They can open doors of opportunity and provide guidance in times of uncertainty. They can release God's power into situations that seem impossible. They can bring hope to the hopeless and light to the darkness. Praying for others is not just about changing their circumstances, it's about changing our own hearts. When we intercede for others, we cultivate compassion, empathy, and a deeper understanding of God's love. We become more attuned to the needs of those around us and more willing to be vessels of his grace. We grow in our own faith as we witness the power of God at work in the lives of others. The power of praying for others is not limited to dramatic miracles like the one at Cana. It can manifest in small, everyday ways: a word of encouragement, a timely act of kindness, a moment of shared connection. These can all be answers to prayer. When we trust in God's timing and remain faithful in our intercession, we open ourselves to experience the transformative power of prayer in our own lives and in the lives of those around us.